I slept. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What it do, everybody? What's good? It's your boy Sage back at it again with another episode with my brethren, Squad Nero podcast. This is episode 88, if I'm not mistaken, with my brethren T Smooth, Nasty Nino, aka Chef D, and Croco's Corner as well. Coming at you with the latest updates of news, gaming, animation, and anything else in between. So stay tuned. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button just to let us know that y'all rocking with us. And if you don't agree with our taste or our takes, please let us know down in the comments. We greatly appreciate it and hope to bring y'all some of the best content that y'all have for the week. So let's get this started. As the Cowboys just score finally again. Good on them. What do y'all want to start with? We got a couple different topics. We got an Alex Perez Q&A that just came out, I believe, last week, if I'm not mistaken, in regards to some Marvel content in the future. TMNT, Last Ronin news, WB bids, and then Aaron Paul, which I feel like is a quick topic.
Let's say Aaron Paul first. It kind of sucks. Does Powerplex play like a big role going forward?
Let's read his quote.
Yeah, just it's actually a video that shows it in the link in the Google Drive for the podcast notes.
Yeah, I hear you. Pulling it up.
3.
Right, let me put this up.
Sound booth, I think 3 different times. That's it. You know, I did a couple episodes, and then they asked me to come back, but for the next season. But I got to tell you that show I'm such a fan of. I watch every episode. I love it, but it was just way too grueling on my psyche. You know, it was like such an emotional.
Your character is specific. Specifically was a little intense.
So much. I have such respect. Yeah, such respect for what they're doing. But Powerplex, man, it really, because he's not just messing around. I mean, he's going through like turmoil, you know. And I just, how I approach everything I do, I really put myself in that skin, and it was a skin I didn't feel comfortable in. You know,
really?
To be honest. Yeah, I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm like, I love you guys. I really do. And the thing is, everyone involved in that camp is amazing, you know, but what it did to me, I didn't like. And so, I couldn't continue. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. So sadly, we get that news. I'm not too pressed about it. It is animation. It's not that hard to find another voice actor that's just as equally compelling. Sad that it's Aaron Paul, I guess, but
did anybody here see the new King of the Hill that came out back on Hulu?
Mm-mm.
So the voice actor of Dill Gribble, different voice actor, and sometimes these voice actor changes they don't sometimes hit the same. So the only way to make this work is that hopefully Powerplex doesn't play a major role going forward, because if he has a lot of speaking lines, it could be noticeable. It could hit. It probably may not hit. So I don't know. making voice actor changes do play a role going forward with some of these shows. So I'm all to him. I understand, like, sometimes you got to get into that role so that you can voice that character properly. But hopefully the new voice actor they have for Powerplex is on par with Aaron Paul. So
I guess he will play some sort of pivotal role because they did leave his story kind of like open-ended, just like they have with other villains that we know are going to come back, such as Angstrom Levy and everything like that. I'm pretty sure from my recollection, I do believe he does come back. Now, how he does it, we're probably curious. It will probably happen this season, to be honest with you. But as long as they convey that emotional sincerity that Aaron Paul, I guess, is so easily able to do throughout the various roles that we've been able to see him in, I think it'll still be cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't really think they were gonna bring Powerplex back anyway, but like I said earlier, I think maybe he was like, "Yo, y'all ain't paying me enough for this or whatever." But they could definitely find somebody to replace him. I don't think it'll be that hard.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything that y'all are saying. Actually, hearing him kind of explain it a little bit more, it makes sense that you could tell he puts a lot of himself into the characters, and I guess like looking at it from that angle, it's like, yeah, bruh, Powerplex might not be, if you really getting locked into what the character is and like what's going on with the character, if that's your style of acting, be it voice acting or like just regular acting, just acting across the board, yeah, I could get wanting to get away from this character. I'm gonna be honest with you. Completely understand. In fact, like, kudos to him for going as far as he did with the character, with everything that we know has already happened. I to Dee's point, I really didn't think that Powerplex is gonna have that important of a role going forward. So even if he does, it still can't be a major significant thing. It probably would be like one episode, maybe an episode and a half at max that I could see being dedicated to his story or narrative, at least that equivalent in time. It won't matter. We won't notice it too much as long as it's not like a extremely important character to the actual narrative that they're going with, which we will be getting so many different characters in this next season. We already know that we're going to get kind of like this extension with the character who we haven't really even seen with that little demon dude. We haven't even seen what are all the new characters that's going to be out of that little mini arc within the season. You know what I'm talking about? That little, like, I forgot what it is, but it's like that little demon arc that's supposed to be happening that wasn't in the comic that they putting into this one.
Yeah, they're adding more to it. I forgot what it was, but yeah, I got you.
So I think if you mix in whatever come out of that and whatever characters come out of that, especially if it's a character within even just that mini arc that kind of can still today in a similar way that you could maybe argue Powerplex did in the previous season, it won't matter. It's not that big of a deal. That's my feelings at this current moment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because if they bring in a whole different arc with Darkblood or whatever his name is,
thank you, because I forgot.
What point is how pivotal of a role will Powerplex even play in that season?
Yeah.
What is it going to be? 8 episodes?
Yep.
Most likely. So 8 episodes. They're going to have the Damien or whatever his name is, Darkblood, his arc. Then they're going to introduce Thrag because Lee Pace is playing him. Then they got to reintroduce some other Viltrumites and all that. So, I mean, I don't know, but should be fun.
Yeah. I don't even think it'll be that long because you just made me think about it again. These are our episodes, right?
Hour and a half, they said.
Bro, that's a movie. Powerplex's role is going to be half episode.
Yeah.
Most likely,
and it's gonna be probably sandwiched in between like one climax into like the next big thing. It'll just it'll be and to me that makes me think that if that is at least the case, it's gonna for the most part be forgettable. it may be a moment or two in it that you kind of like, oh wow, that's crazy. But if compared to the rest of the season, especially with these being anywhere from an hour to what T said was an hour and a half, it'd be forgettable.
All right then. All right, so scared about the Powerplex move, or that Aaron Paul is leaving, or indifferent?
Not a big deal.
I'm indifferent.
Indifferent.
Yeah.
Indifferent. All right. We got the WB bids as well. Warner Bros. Supposedly, according to Reuters.com, Warner Bros. Discovery has received preliminary buyout bids from rivals Paramount, Skydance, Comcast, and Netflix. A source familiar with the matter said on Thursday, kicking off a potential sale of the century-old Hollywood studio. Some key points inside this article: Paramount Skydance is actually trying to buy out Warner Bros. Discovery streaming and IP, as well as their cable studios as well. I think they're the only company that has placed a bid for both of those. Warner Bros. The board also rejected a mostly cash offer of nearly $24 a share for the company, valuing it at $60 billion, and publicly announced it would evaluate strategic options for the studio.
I told y'all I wasn't bugging with them prices, bro. I told y'all.
Yeah. Netflix, the other two companies, like I said, Netflix and what was the other one? Comcast, they only want the streaming and IP rights, such as Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and everything like that.
It's not gonna do it.
I'm thinking, I really hope Paramount Skydance don't get this. Larry Ellison, if you don't know, tap in. He's one of them. Nonetheless, they're already damn near monopolizing before our
very conservative.
This nigga said he wanted them.
He just let you know what? Look, he left it at that, and I'm very proud.
He really is. Nonetheless, we see in real time Paramount Skydance becoming a monopoly, basically. If I'm not mistaken, they also have TikTok. If I'm not mistaken.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken, that was the only way that TikTok was going to be able to survive, is if they was taken over by a American company, I believe, for the data. Let me just check.
Is it the company that just merged with Paramount that would have done that then? Okay. I could see that. That's ringing a bell in my head now. Is Paramount the only one that is willing to buy the entire thing?
Paramount, it does seem like from speculation that Paramount is the only.
We better hope there's multiple waves of these bids. That's what they said. They said that it's gonna be waves. Like they're gonna have 3 companies. They're gonna look at those, and then I don't know. See, that's the funny part, because they don't exclusively say that a deal would be done by the end of the year. They just said they will have a decision from the first round of bids by the end of the year. Does that mean they either will reject all of them and then move on to round 2, or does that mean that whoever is from round 1 will be pit with whoever is in round 2, which now we obviously would be going into 2026? Because I agree with you. I don't want Paramount to have it. If they don't want going for the whole thing, I don't want any more of this like weird content. I just don't want that.
They're also, my bad, I misspoke. They're acquiring TikTok's U.S. operations, 80% of it, I guess.
Oh God.
So to say.
I don't want.
And that's his son. My bad.
At that point, to be honest with you, I'd rather Disney be able to get it, because that's, like you said, isn't that already almost like a monopoly? I mean, they have an entire $1 billion social network to use for their specific marketing, or to put their marketing at an edge if they own it. So like that seemed like something where like the, I don't know, FTC, somebody, whoever is the commissioner or overhead of all of that seems like a moment where they should step in. So if that is a moment that they theoretically would step in average circumstances, what would stop Disney from saying, okay, well, if y'all not going to stop Paramount, what's stopping us from putting our hat in on a bid?
I really think it'd just be too difficult to own both of the IPs of two rival companies.
Nah, bro. And this is
which-
that Kiss the Ring stuff coming out. We ain't got to bring up specific names or anything like that, but I don't like it because this is that Kiss the Ring. It'd be a problem for this company, but it won't be a problem for the other company because the other company Kiss. I don't like that.
I think it's more because I really think they have to have something on paper in law saying that a company can't own both Marvel and DC rights.
It always was kind of implied that you can't tiptoe any like Disney can't tiptoe any further. It's as far as I know, it's just been an implication. I don't know if there's literature that says that Disney can't. I'm just not sure. I'm not saying that doesn't exist because that could very well be the case. But I don't. Yeah, I don't like it. I rather when we had this discussion a couple weeks ago, we was talking about like people like Amazon, which I know a lot of people probably wouldn't on a more societal note, wouldn't really necessarily want Amazon to have a foot in this race. But like the nerd geekier side of me is like, okay, they've done good with Invincible. They've done good with a live action The Boys. They made a successful spinoff from a comic book. And then they also had I always forget the name of it, and you always remind me. But what was that? We'll just call it Dungeons and Dragons style.
Vox Machina.
Vox Machina, which was really good. I loved Vox Machina. They did a really good Dungeons and Dragons, which let's just call it Wizards. Just Realm of Wizards. I know that's not fair, but let's just call it that. That touches more like the success that they've had in those areas to me touches more on why they would be a really good success with something like the at least fantasy based content that would be available at Warner Brothers. So to me, looking at it just on a more one-to-one basis, that will make me be cool with Amazon acquiring them in this case. Apple was brought up before. I think Apple is really trying to put themselves in the forefront of streaming. They want to be one of the big dogs that you talk about with Netflix and such. This is the best opportunity and a perfect opportunity for them to really elevate themselves into that conversation. So I would be cool with that. Netflix I was cool with because of the same things that I was saying with Amazon, but they not gonna get it off just streaming. It's not gonna happen. I don't think that WB, you gotta remember, WB already did a split in order for this to be a consideration. So now Netflix is gonna ask them to do another split with the thing that they already just split? No way.
In Netflix defense, they have been a lot more open to releasing their films in theaters, such as the one recent one I can't remember, K-pop Demon Hunters, I think it was. They did release that in theaters, so it's like they're trying to marry the concept of streaming and the theaters in a more profitable way for both industries, I guess you could say. So they have been opening up.
But why not just ask for all of it then in the deal? Why just ask for streaming? Why not just say, okay, we'll take the deal as is, and then they could do whatever they want from there?
It'd probably be easier to control because when we really think about it right now, cable is damn near something from the past, a thing of the past. Now that we have streaming and everything like that, you could pay for the movies right there. You can watch any movie that you want just at the palm of your hand. You don't have to flip through the channels, have to deal with.
I get the case for Netflix. I'm just saying so they can get it. You know what I'm saying? Why would you do something? Why would you change the terms, which puts you at a disadvantage, as opposed to accepting the terms and then doing the changes that you want with how you distribute? That's all on Netflix once Netflix has it. I just feel like they took themselves out to run it, and I'm kind of bummed by that. Who else was the other one you said that wanted just streaming?
Comcast.
Yeah, they out. Like Netflix and them, I'm sorry, they just essentially handed Paramount round one. Now we don't know what round one means.
Yeah, the first bidding round, but that's when like Robert was saying, what's the dude Dale Ellis or whatever the Ellis dude's name is? He just denied that they had Saudi backing. So I'm like, bro, nah, if they got the oil money behind them, Paramount for sure gonna be number one.
Copping them niggas.
And they for sure, first thing, I mean, I'm not a fan of James Gunn, but I know he got passion with these projects. They get DC, they don't know. They want somebody, they gonna want one of these people on their side in place right away.
There was rumors that they thought that there was a chance that Larry Ellis was he had said or something like that, and this might be fake news, but that he would get Zack Snyder back. How you feel about that? If that is any truth?
I wouldn't mind it, but at the same time, like knowing Zack Snyder's vision of what he had for his DCU, I don't think it was gonna be that great. He is great at with the action scenes and like the visuals, but as far as storytelling, that probably wouldn't have gone over so well with fans. But at the same time, he's been on Instagram and Twitter, whatever, posting videos of Ben Affleck as Batman, Henry Cavill as Superman, posting more Justice League photos, stuff with Jared Leto's Joker, and there's been a lot of cryptic stuff too. So who knows? Time will only tell.
To your point though, too, is like it's hard for me to love the idea if it's somebody who is kind of morphed into a more so company man as well.
Yeah.
Because Zack Snyder, if we being honest, Zack Snyder can't have a like little metatextual context to his work as well. And that is something that somebody might even argue is a benefit to his films. So if he got to be made into a company man, is it really the same Zack Snyder film that we would be used to anyways?
Yeah, right.
I don't like this right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was cool with it, but then when they started talking about like different, and I'm not like the whole American backer gotta be an American backer. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
It's fine when you got to get outside, sources, and there's other people that want to come into the fray. But it's one thing when we talking about boxing, and when we talking about like entertainment, comic books, things that kind of like touch on social context in a way more nuanced way. I don't know how, like, I like the idea of it not necessarily being censored and for creatives to just be creatives. I don't know if you get that with backers with different societal and cultural setups than we are accustomed to in American entertainment. That's like the nicest way I could put it, because I'm really not trying to be offensive to anybody. But like,
offensive.
I do think that plays a part. Like if Superman, like look at how Superman has been in the last, not even just this most recent one, but especially this most recent one. Like if we look at the James Gunn Superman, that was a part that people didn't hate, was some of the meta context that was around our own society that was brought into the movies. Now, granted, there was a lot of people that also did complain about it. So I'm not saying that removing it is necessarily a bad thing, but I do think that for a lot of creators, bringing what you actually experience in your own personal world into the creative framework that you're trying to make, that's just good storytelling if done right, and can push a story forward.
Yeah, it is looking very bleak right now. Hopefully Apple comes to the table with some. I mean, they do have the money to blow, as well as Paramount Skydance. So hopefully,
but like, is that round two?
I don't even know.
What?
They didn't even bid in the first one, the first widely known one at least.
Warner Brothers did not give us any true context. Because let me ask you this: when have you heard of this style with any of the other stuff that's ever been sold?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm also not too familiar on the subject.
And I agree. Same with me. It could have happened with some of these other things, but there was nothing that was as public as this is with Warner Brothers of this being done, which going off of assumption, which is not a good idea, but going off of assumption, if it is the first to do it in this manner, they have not set any context on how the rest of it would go. All they told us is this is what's going on, and apparently this is referred to as round one. I don't like it.
These niggas about to drag this shit out to the heavens. Just to get out as maximum money that they could possibly get. 60 billion wasn't enough. We probably going into 80, 100 billion territory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get it. That's business. I get it. But like, I don't know. It sound like Paramount the ones that got the money they want. I don't know how many more people gonna have or companies are gonna have the money they want.
Apple will really go crazy if they did this shit because they already
Yeah,
have
but bro,
the
if it get up
movies
to
and the
100
shows
bill,
set up.
if it get up to
Apple
100
got more
bill,
than all of that.
I hear you, but they paying it, bro. Like, think about it. Think about how we felt before we started getting these numbers. I had the highest number, and I was saying like 50. We already surpassed that.
Yeah.
$100 billion.
Well,
That's a lot to ask.
yeah, it is.
Even if you got it, that's a lot of money to ask.
Think about it, bro. Like if they're like, yo, you getting Harry Potter and DC and Looney Tunes, like, bro, you getting a lot of different IPs. So
You
like,
are. You could capitalize on that a lot. And
Oh,
a
they
lot of
can. I
fields-
think they can make that back in 10 years.
So
And
it's
the-
like in what 10 years, you be like, yo, you got. Let's say in 10 years, you put out 8 movies that hit $1 billion, but you already
Right.
know in merchandise sales, you're gonna be sitting at 50, 60, hell, even 80 billion in that time because you're selling all of the Harry Potter shit, and they redoing Harry Potter right now.
I agree that it's worth it. I just know rich people be stingy.
you
And
had
this
a
is
game-
already.
Not when ain't using their money.
Yeah.
That's true.
Apple got 4 trillion. 100 billion is a drop in the bucket. 100 billion is a drop in the bucket.
It's worth it. I do think it's worth it. I need Apple to be like, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I need them to see that. Like,
Yeah.
because I agree with y'all. I do think it's worth it. It's a lot of IPs attached to this sale.
They did such a great job with Godzilla that I feel like they kind of would be perfect. I think they have the people in place where I think
I
they'd
love
be able
it.
to do some good shit. But hopefully it's not Skydance. It seems
If
like that's a
these
resounding no for them.
rumors with Skydance and Paramount are true, I don't want no. 100% am on board with Apple. I'm 100% on board with even Amazon,
Or Netflix. Amazon didn't even bid supposedly.
which is crazy. Would they have to like give up do they got a contract with Image or something? Is that why they
I
like
don't know.
no?
I don't know because if Images isn't too big of a
Right?
property. Kind of
Image
like
not
Marvel
doing no
and DC.
exclusive deal. Exactly. Why would Image ain't doing no exclusive deal? Oh, you can only work. But then again, is it one of those things? Well, we got to look into that comic book company like monopoly rule thing. Because what if it's a blanket kind of rule across the board? It doesn't matter how big you are. And the way that Amazon is looking at it is oh, so if we were to get DC, we'd have to give up Image. Well, we having a lot of success with Image. Why should we care?
Mhm.
I hope it ain't like that. God. All of the other companies sound way better than I don't like it. I just don't want to start mixing this. No, this is not WWE, UFC. No. Sorry.
Yeah.
Boxing. Right is dope. They doing a lot of good things in terms of the world of boxing, but not with I don't want to do this with WB.
Hopefully,
I'll be that
Paramount
guy.
Skydance wet the bed. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Nonetheless, wait, wasn't we just talking about Skydance? Paramount Skydance. Yep. All right, some more Paramount
Yeah, speaking
Skydance
of which.
news. As they keep fumbling the bag with other IPs that they have, we have now learned via Variety and other news outlets that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles R-rated movie Last Ronin on hold at Paramount as studio develops new live-action version. They're using I believe it's the director from the Sonic films that have recently just came out to try and depict, I guess, a more kid-friendly or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, more akin to most of their content that has been produced. When they had the opportunity to actually do a rated R Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film with a dope story that I've yet to finish reading, but so far it has got me captivated.
Oh, the Last Ronin.
Now they're just like, now they're just like, no. So how do y'all feel about this news as we just spent the last 30 minutes probably shitting on Paramount Skydance already?
They fumbled the bag because
Again, bro.
But the simple fact, the Last Ronin is one of those pivotal stories that everybody came to enjoy and love when it released. I sat down, read that whole comic. When you find out who that Last Ronin is, it hits different. It hits so different, and it's just sad how it ends, but it shows new beginnings.
Yeah, I would agree. It was like, dang, I understand they don't want, a lot of people don't want everything to be R-rated and everything to be dark and gritty or whatever. But like T said, once you see how that story plays out, it's like, no, this will make an excellent movie. Because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, everybody wasn't really feeling those.
No.
The one, like the live action ones. But if you have something like The Last Ronin, you make that rated R, I feel like that would have did some numbers.
You telling me that a company that just said, we gonna take something that fans been asking for and throw it out the window to make something that fans have not been asking for, so it can be more, as they refer to it, child friendly, when they already own Nickelodeon, is about to get DC, the more mature comic book between the two comic book giants. And I'm not supposed to be concerned. Nah,
you
bro.
You can't.
Nah.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you one person you can't censor. If they get DC, there's one person you can't censor. You can't censor the daggone Joker. He literally goes against everything childlike.
What they gonna do? They gonna make a Nickelodeon Joker because it needs to be childlike? Could you imagine? No, bro. No. If that's the angle they want, they don't need to go that angle either. They have a lot of adult shows. They have a lot of adult content under Paramount. Some of my favorite crime series and shows is on Paramount. Like no.
South Park is on Paramount.
They own MTV. Do they own MTV?
I don't know.
Who? Paramount Skydance?
Paramount. Yeah, because if they do, which I don't think, I think Peacock might own. NBC might own.
Nah, they own it.
They do? Paramount owns it?
Skydance completed this merger with Paramount Global in August 2025. And MTV was already part of Paramount's portfolio.
Yeah. So they got Mayors of Kingstown, which is an incredibly adult show. They could have did an adult Teenage Mutant Ninja. The fan base for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, granted, there is children and a continuous children's generation that's attributed to it. But like, you also have fans that's like 40 years old, 40 plus years old.
They could have.
You could have done both. You could have just stuck to doing Ronin, and while you in the middle of doing Ronin, just do a SpongeBob movie or whatever. Like, you have Nickelodeon under your belt. You could have did anything.
You already have a children's version of TMNT with the children as teenagers, with the turtles as teenagers. Just run with that. Make a movie, make a sequel to that, and then do and
make it a movie
too.
They already got a SpongeBob movie coming out too, though.
Yeah, it don't. And then on top of that, if you trying to acquire WB, you about to get you about to quadruple the amount of children content that you will have. You can't just see this through and then make whatever you do after this with that more childish push, maybe taking crossovers or whatever they want to do that they think is a success or that will be a success. That would have been right there for you. I don't like it. I think that's a terrible move. It make me think if they get DC, they gonna make a bunch more. How long are we gonna have the DC comic and cinematic, or not comic, because the comic's been crushing it, but the DC cinematic universe, how long are we going to have disappointment be the narrative? And are we really about to hand it over to another company where the narrative just becomes constant disappointment and blunder after blunder? Yeah, I don't know, bro. We also talking about, remember, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a comic book. Y'all already said it. It's a comic book. So this is what we seeing them do with comic book content. That's not a good look. Like it.
Because it makes me wonder, like, what we got with DC, with those like the DC animated universe was, we can all agree, was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, and it got darker as it went on. Like Justice League, Justice League War was cool, but then Throne of Atlantis or whatever it was got a little dark. But that Justice League Apocalypse War was insanely dark. So if you do some shit where a company want to turn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles more kid friendly, it's like, damn, what y'all gonna do for the animation at DC?
Teen Titans Go 50 times over.
Oh hell no!
They do.
I'm telling you, that's what it looked like.
Nah, that's the quickest way to lose some bread.
I'll be less of a nerd if that ever happens.
They looking at a totally different IP to just gauge that they think that they can recreate that thing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's the same type of shtick. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has its own like little shtick, while Sonic has its own shtick. You can't just one-to-one recreate that, thinking just because you got the Sonic director, he could do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and make it in a kid-friendly aspect and have it be palatable and enjoyable for a wide range of audiences. They just got too much. They got too much dip on their chip, man, and they just ruining these IP.
And then just to think about the path of success as well, because if I'm not mistaken, Sonic had to get completely redone. Because they gave us the original animation of it, and everybody was like, this is terrible. So they had to go and take their time to develop it into something that was actually like tangible for people to look at. Which is sad that they weren't going to do that if it didn't get the fan reaction that did. It's terribly sad that was already, we talking about management not having the best insight. But anyways, the fact that it took even longer for that movie to come out, it's like, imagine trying to recreate that same kind of vibe and not have necessarily the same level of cheesiness. And again, you're trying to make them like kids. So I don't know how much that actually morphs the 3D animation process as well. I know it has been done before, but it has not been done like enjoyably well. It hasn't. There hasn't been a live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where, at least not that I can think of. I could be wrong because I'm not the biggest TMNT fan, but I've never, even the people that I do know that are big TMNT fans, they never really talk about or have any nostalgic feels towards the recent 3D animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So how long would it even take to make this into something where people can appreciate it, where you already had at least the beginnings of a path with Last Ronin? That doesn't sound smart to me.
Well, we shall see how this will turn out with the fans, because once you start pissing off the fans a lot, as we have seen with DC, Marvel, and anybody else that you could think of, any other comic book company, those fans will get on your ass once you start producing some terrible products. So good luck, Paramount Skydance. Good luck. Nonetheless, let's finish this off with, I guess, some good news. Coming from Marvel, at least, from what I could tell. Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus had another Q&A with a lot of the Discord members that's a part of it. He's an insider, so it's basically gets a lot of information in regards to Marvel and what's been happening behind the scenes, and can give us some insights on things. So just to read through this quickly, Kang in the Multiverse. Somebody asked, hi Alex, you once said something about a multiversal loop regarding the Kangs that was going to be a thing. Will that still be addressed, or will or will it be made so that it never involved the Kangs in the first place, or just made into something else entirely? Alex responds, Doom will basically take the spot of the Conqueror's motivations from Quantumania and manifest them. So he'll be pissed about people messing with timelines and causing incursions. So Doom might direct some of his anger towards the Kangs, which we already known from previous leaks and rumors and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Brand New Day. A question asked if Destin Daniel Cretton does an amazing job with the Spider-Man movie, will he drop other projects for Spidey sequels, or will Sony find a new director? Alex responded, is most definitely a case-by-case basis, but morale is so high right now with the crew and how Destin is shaping this movie up to be that it would be hard to fill his shoes even if the movie isn't a success, which I doubt because Mr. Cretton has some cojones to pull off what he's about to do. Which sounds pretty crazy, but we can only speculate. Somebody asked if there will be a new Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, not Defoe and Molina, for Tom Holland's Peter to fight. Alex responded, yes, definitely, and the way that Marvel is handling it in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is going to mirror what the MCU will do for Spidey's story moving forward. It won't be a one-to-one, but the story beats are going to parallel, kind of like how some story beats in the MCU parallel the stories in What If. I like that. I think Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man had some very like clean edits so that you can understand the episodes, and then it felt like there was a lot of stuff going on in each episode damn near. So very interested in that. Another Footlog Slinky, crazy. Is Sadie Sink playing Shathra in Brand New Day? Alex Perez, I refuse to comment. Somebody else, hey Alex, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for doing this again. I was wondering, since Yelena is in Brand New Day, whether we would get more Yelena and Spidey crossovers in the future beyond Brand New Day. Alex Perez, there's no way of knowing. I don't even think the interaction in Brand New Day warrants them crossing over or teaming up in the future anytime soon. MJ's role, I access. What in the world? All right, somebody asked about Zendaya, relating to MJ's role in Brand New Day, and he said fictional MIT is evil. So that's gonna be crazy to see what he means by that. MIT is evil. So he just responded to what MJ's role in Brand New Day. He just said MIT is evil. So something is going on with MIT in Brand New Day. Marvel Jesus asked, hey Alex, will the character Spider-Man, Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man Brand New Day connect more to Doomsday or Secret Wars? Alex Press, depends on the character. Hey Alex, my question is, does Marvel have any plans to introduce Viv and the rest of the Visions anytime soon? For a while, there were rumors about them showing up in Vision Quest, but now that we know more about the show, it doesn't seem likely. Alex Perez, there is a chance. About a year and a half ago, you said you heard that there will be horror elements in Wonder Man. I know things change in editing and filming, and I know sometimes we shouldn't read too much into what you hear so long before a project releases, but that has always stuck with me. How far do you think these horror elements will go? Think WandaVision, which is, I guess. Hi, Alex. Glad you're doing better, and thanks for doing these again. Are the 2026 Marvel shows like Wonder Man and Vision Quest going to tie into the Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars? Like having the characters show up in the movies? Alex Perez, yes. This is on X-Men and Mutants. Hey Alex, I think I might be the #1 Magneto fan in this Discord, so I need to sneak in a question about him. What will Magneto's journey be through Doomsday and potentially Secret Wars? As someone who isn't usually portrayed as a hero, his views on the multiversal incursions could potentially be very complex. When we see Magneto again in Doomsday, he finally has the mutant utopia he had always dreamed of. When it's threatened, you'll know he'll throw hands to protect it. Hey yo, thanks for always taking time.
So that means we might get Krakoa?
Genosha, I think.
Genosha, yeah. Krakoa is probably too early. Plus, with the comic, Not a lot of people like the Krakoa joint, especially how it ended. Supposedly, I never
it was a
got around
whack
to really
ending, but I thought that the concept was good
Yeah, the concept was pretty
until
dope.
it wasn't.
Yeah. Nonetheless, hey yo, thanks for always taking time for doing these questions. Your thoughts on a thought. What if one of the X-Men kills an Avenger? It could be a way to help establish the friction between both teams, species that continues on in the future. How can we trust mutants when they've killed an Avenger? I don't think any X-Men, Alex Perez, I don't think any X-Men or Avengers will kill each other this time around, at least not intentionally. Maybe the consequences of their actions cause the deaths, but not something directly. If Cyclops and the Summers family are getting a particular focus in the next X-Men saga, might we see Cable again? Alex Perez. They're all fair game, but we're starting out in the very early days with the X-Men roster they've got planned.
Does Josh Brolin come back as Cable? That's the question.
That's a great question. Have you heard anything regarding some of the mutant characters who could be a focus on in the next saga? There's been some rumblings recently that Cyclops could be one of them. Alex Perez, Cyclops and Jean Grey as co-leaders of the team. I've heard other names like Angel, Beast, Gambit, Rogue, and Nightcrawler could be a part of it. They asked, is there any other Marvel Rivals characters that's potentially could be dropped in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Alex Perez, honestly, aside from Jeff, Luna Snow, but we can keep the rest separate for now.
So wait. Did they just say, did he confirm Jeff the Shark might be coming?
Yeah, they've already been talking about it and to take over the place of Baby Groot. That was in one of his earlier Q&As this year that he had.
I am here for the shenanigans of Jeff the Shark.
I knew you would be. Hello, Lizzie and Alex. Also, thank you once again for having these. Is Madam Mask a possibility in the future, or maybe more female villains at all in the near future? I need me some more unapologetic villainesses out there. In Brand New Day, female villain, he means. Female villains, he means. Hey Alex, who or what do you think caused the incursions in the MCU? Alex Perez, the answer is Kang. He's the original sin, so to speak. I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you again for doing this another month. Any storylines you want to see in the MCU bonus points if it's for the girls, because we need to see more stuff with women in there. Midnight Suns needs to start and finish ASAP in Young Avengers. Hi Alex, hope you're doing fine. Some days ago you posted a gif of Travis Fimmel from the show. All right, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything. My question is, do you know if Marvel Studios has any plans for Squirrel Girl or Cloak and Dagger in any future projects? With them being highly popularized in Marvel Rivals, I wondered maybe, but I haven't heard anything. All right. So basically through those stairs, we're still getting some tidbits. Magneto finally got his Mutant Utopia. Spider-Man Brand New Day, there will be a villainess involved in that story at some point in time. MIT is also evil, from the words of Alex Perez. Summers family, we already talked about that, and I'm pretty sure we already heard about that in another rumor, is going to be the focus of the new mutant saga. And it seems like Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man will all, at some form or fashion, be a part of Doomsday and or Secret Wars, depending on the character. Oh, also supposedly, just to throw a little wrench in the Marvel monkey tube or whatever the fuck the saying is. Damn, what was this shit? Oh, Tobey Maguire. Supposedly, Tom Holland's not even gonna be in Doomsday, or if he is, he's gonna play a minor role. Supposedly, Tobey Maguire is gonna be the Spider-Man for Doomsday, and they're going to nitpick and choose the best films that had the highest grossing numbers, basically showing them the most people watched this film in a former sense. So like the Doctor Strange's Multiverses of Madness, the Spider-Man No Way Home. Wait, was that it?
You said the most what?
Yeah, was it No Way Home? No Way Home.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange is the what else? Black Panthers, all of those. They're gonna use those main movies to help push the story forward, to be that backing. It seems like they won't use any of the ancillary or some of the movies that just didn't do well. Obviously, they'll pick and choose from like the Marvels, obviously, because you got the Monica Rambeau thing and all that jazz. But I think it's very easy for them to now connect the dots in a sense to make the film that everybody is expecting to make, and it makes sense and it not be fucking difficult as hell to understand. And Brand New Day just looks like it's about to be a monster of a movie. I'm not gonna lie. How y'all thinking?
Looking forward to Brand New Day. Strongly hoping it holds to the same level we had with No Way Home. So I'm strongly hoping that they keep the fire burning with that, because Spider-Man, you can run with him. It's just that you got to keep that story very cohesive. Hopefully they don't retcon anything.
Maguire Spider-Man.
You said what?
You think they're gonna end up killing him?
That'd be stupid.
Nah, I think supposedly in another video, I can't remember the creator, so my apologies. In another video, they said that Sony is open to the idea of using Tobey Maguire and finishing out his story depending on how the reception is, supposedly, with Doomsday. Because supposedly Tobey Maguire, I believe he has magic on his universe. They never touched upon that. They could touch upon a lot of other stories as well. Potentially their Carnage, potentially their other IPs that they own, since they own Spider-Man and all the fucking other things that they got. But I don't know.
He does have magic on his universe? Well, I guess that's how you explain Sandman.
Yeah, he talked about it briefly in No Way Home, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, Brand New Day is looking like, I'm liking Destin. They said the whole team morale is high. That's something where I'm just sitting here like, all right, these folks, not to call them the underlings, but I can't find a better word, so I'm sorry. The underlings in the hierarchy, I guess you say. I'm pretty sure those are the tip of the top nerds, I would assume, when it comes to this stuff like that. Like, you'll find some of the people that are lower down in the chains that just loves the idea of the IP that they're working on, in comparison to the folks at the higher up who are just focused on the dollars. And if they're excited about this, I assume that this project has to be crazy as hell, at the minimum. And if they knock this out the park, then they gonna have a killer of a start in the race by the time Doomsday comes out. And then you bring a Toby back too, and how the fans loved him, and then bring him with a Thor or a Hulk of this universe, or all of the other characters that he never was able to interact with within his own universe. And then you add on to the fact, it was another leak or rumor or what have you, where Doom is actually the reason why Tobey Maguire's universe was destroyed. And supposedly Tobey Maguire has been wearing a CGI suit this whole time, meaning he doesn't have the same old suit that he used to wear. It's probably a lot more technologically advanced or some other way advanced. So you couple all these things together. What happened?
I was saying, when Alfred Molina came back, he still had some of that nanotechnology, didn't he? Or they took it back from him. Or I don't know what could have advanced it, but didn't you say it could have been Cosmic Spider-Man as well?
He could have been. I'm also thinking, like, if Loki was trying to gather up a team of people, he probably got somebody who had the technological abilities, got Spider-Man out before he was able to die in that universe when Doctor Doom came and destroyed it. Because technically, he had 3 things that could have turned it to an incursion. All his villains, basically. You got Sandman. You had not Electro for him. Dr. Octopus, and then you had Green Goblin. That's 3 different times where an incursion could have started, just based off of that, because he changed the timeline. and created branch timelines from that. So the connective tissue that they're trying to go for is really piquing my interest now, because now I'm starting to see the end of the road and how they could get this done, and why Doom would be so pissed at the end of it.
Yeah.
All right, did y'all have any other thoughts on this?
I do have a thought. Like, when are we going to see some of the Spider-Man Brand New Day footage? I mean, granted, they did confirm that. Well, I believe they confirmed that we're going to see Avengers by the end of the year. I know Spider-Man comes out in July. Of course, they might be saving that for the Super Bowl, or maybe it's something for possibly Christmas or whatever. But all we got was what we had in the beginning, when he was like swinging through the streets in like his new suit and all that.
Yeah. I think it'll be Super Bowl. I think with the movie, obviously Spider-Man is a big movie, but it's nowhere in comparison to an Avengers movie when we're looking at it. So usually they drop trailers for that a little bit earlier because it warrants that type of hype.
Okay.
A year out. But in the case of like a Spider-Man film, it'll probably be better to focus all that marketing money on a quick blitz campaign, so that it stays fresh in everybody's minds. And as soon as that date drops for when it's dropping, everybody has gotten their tickets on pre-sale for the most part. Because they just been blitzed with content for the past 5 months in comparison to a year, where it's easy to forget shit.
Yep.
When they drop shit here and there. But yeah. Fingers crossed for Destin Daniel Cretton. Them Shang-Chi fight scenes were some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. So to see him with Spider-Man is gonna be absolutely Spider-Man, Hulk, and Punisher. What are you about to have Punisher doing now? This thing about to be doing flips, shooting 360 no scoping niggas.
Yeah.
That is a fact, and I don't know, but seeing that the camaraderie is good between everybody, that's just good to hear, though. You know, with all these directors coming out being creeps and, you know, people having beef on set, it's like, damn, finally some good news about, some believable good news about everybody on set getting along.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I agree with all of the points that you guys made. I'm very happy that we all kind of are like in agreement. Like the biggest thing out of that Q&A that seems to stick out for all of us was the Spider-Man news, which granted there was a lot of it there, but yeah, I mean it's really awesome to hear that all of these elements are kind of mixed in with it. One thing that I do want to that really kind of struck me throughout that Q&A, specifically within the Spider-Man context, this is going to be something that is kind of like in sync with the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man side, at least in terms of the narrative and story direction that it goes in. One little fun fact that I looked up while you guys were talking, that is completely Marvel. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So, and it's also kind of oversaw by Lou D'Esposito, whereas we know that the live action is a Sony Marvel kind of collaboration, and that is being overseen by specifically Kevin Feige. I think that this is actually a really smart idea, and I'm hoping that not only if they could kind of figure out a formula with Spider-Man that works well with with the continuous narrative and whatever direction they go for the next two Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland as well, to give him again that conclusion that he deserves. I think that it could actually be really helpful for them as well, just to have, again, that we kind of talked about this too, is if we can not necessarily stretch Kevin Feige thin, which has been a problem in the past, but also use kind of have a way where we can troubleshoot with similar stories. And this looks like an opportunity for them to do that. And as well, just having that number of characters in the live action Spider-Man movie, I think that using friendly neighborhood Spider-Man as a template is probably the best thing out of anything that's come out from Marvel that you could possibly use. And then also you're introducing another character that's from one side of that. Well, excuse me, two characters, at least to my knowledge, my belief. I won't say knowledge, but belief. Two characters, and I think the Scorpion is going to be in it. Yeah. Okay. So Scorpion and Tombstone coming from how well they were done in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then bringing them in using the story, ushering them in, and really taking your time to figure out, okay, how can we make this make sense for the MCU, but how can we make sure that it has this feel? Jeff Trammell is an incredible writer. He's currently finishing up the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is set to come out in, at least to my belief right now, fall of 2026. So this would be right, like anything that he's doing with the narrative for season 2 of that is also being worked on at the same time that this movie is going to be coming out. So there's opportunity for a lot of those ideas to kind of cross anyways, because they both are on the heels of each other. Yeah, I think that's really good. And I it makes me feel really good about the season 2 of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as well. I don't want to like kind of let that go to the wayside in this news. That it's not just that the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man helps this new Spider-Man Brand New Day movie, but there's also the possibility that some of the things that they experimented with and tested in making Brand New Day will be able to have some influence on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is going to be coming out directly after the Spider-Man live action movie. And the thing that's kind of the what looks to be at least the biggest thing between Spider-Man and Avengers. So there is some level of weight to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man when you look at it from that context. Like that's something that you really do want to be good, because you don't want to spoil the taste, pause if necessary, but to spoil the taste in people's mouths if that's bad. And then the next thing up is Avengers. You don't really want to do that. So there is a little bit of weight on the animated side if they don't push it back. But I do think that this is a much smarter path by Marvel. I really do think it is. And I think they're kind of looking at it now with Sony as being like, look, if y'all gonna need us to make a movie and y'all won't sell us back these rights, we at least are gonna milk this for getting the most out of it that we possibly can. And so if that may the most obvious is seeing how that translates over into an animated Spider-Man series, which they can have control over. But that doesn't just limit it there. They're also looking at it as how can this have an influence in Avengers movies and just movies in general, where you might possibly have a plethora of different characters that aren't necessarily an Avengers film. I think they're troubleshooting that right now with this experience with Spider-Man. So it seems like a lot of the news coming out from Brand New Day has been really positive, and it hasn't really given us any reason to not be impressed or not feel excited. And I'm glad that Alex was able to kind of confirm and also add some more confidence to that in that Q&A. That's all that I had on it. I'm done. I'll try to do it as quick as I could.
Nah, you good. All right. I think that was everybody. All right. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Marvel has made that switch around and did that 180, and now they're on the right side of history. But until next time,
it was not a bad year.
Not a bad year at all. Nah, no problem. Not a bad year at all. And then now that you bring it up, though, their slate for next year is probably a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie. They got Vision Quest, I believe, that's coming out next year.
Wonder Man is now next year too.
Wonder Man, I thought it's still coming out later on this year.
No, it's got pushed to, I believe, January of 2026 now. So it's going to start the year.
January 26, 2026. That's when it's supposed to drop.
January 26, 2026?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. You got, oh my goodness. You got Daredevil 2. And this is with the Netflix original team. Oh my goodness. Then you got Spider-Man, and then you got animated Spider-Man, and then you got Doomsday to finish the year off.
And it's not the overwhelming or like because I mean, in comparison to this year, that is a very modest slate, but it seems like it could be a potentially strong slate. You know, cutting back on the amount, which is something that Kevin Feige said he wanted to do. Let's cut out on the amount of stuff that we give you and really focus on just giving you a couple of key products and IPs that are done very well. And this, he looked like he's sticking to his words, and I respect that personally.
All right, my bad. All right, so yes, I did say Wonder Man in January 27th. Daredevil comes out March. The Punisher special comes out early mid 2026. X-Men 97 season 2 comes out summer 2026.
I stand corrected, but it's still good content.
Spider-Man.
It's still good content.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man fall, Vision Quest sometime in mid-late 2026, then Doomsday. December 18th.
But it's
Holiday
all
season.
things that, here's the thing though, it's all things that have been worked on for an exuberant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
None of those things that you named are things that, like, when they started Daredevil, they were already working on the second season of Daredevil.
Mhm.
When they Wonder Man, we know has been pushed back, and that is something that's been worked on since even, I mean, this is going back to when Loki was, they were starting to get that together, I think around Loki season 2. I could be wrong about that, but I think that they were really trying to get the story and everything together. So it's been a couple of years for that. Then the animated stuff, yes, has that had a quick turnaround? But think about Invincible. We just got done talking about Invincible. These are things where you work on the multiple seasons over multiple years. And then Spider-Man, that's the only one. Vision Quest, we know, been worked on for a long time. Spider-Man is the only one that's like quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Doomsday, I guess, yes, but those are the two that they obviously know we have the highest expectation for, and are specifically being handled and overseen by Kevin Feige, which is the guy who, for the most part, we've trusted throughout over 20 years.
They got a hell of a fucking slate. And then you got Secret Wars the following year. Ugh.
Yeah.
Possibly Black Panther 3 to start off after Secret Wars. Ugh. With the T'Challa back in there.
Is that in 2027?
Hopefully Damson Idris. I think the last phase
2027 is the last of the multiverse saga.
Yeah.
So is Black Panther in 2027 or is it in 2028? Because then you will be confirming.
It would be 2028. It would be early.
So it starts,
if I'm not mistaken.
So it's gonna start the mutant saga, which is really interesting.
Supposedly, I think that was from an older pick where they released the phase and all the movies that they expected to drop after Secret Wars. But that would be a hell of a way to start off the saga.
It's very interesting. I'm very curious what direction I could take, because Black Panther, the one thing that's really cool about him is it could take a lot of different angles. Exactly. It could take that. And then it can also take mutant elements and also mix a political element to it. It could take a lot of different, it can go a lot of different ways.
And what nigga better to understand the plight of the mutant than a nigga?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It's very it all, because we don't know what is going to happen with Namor and Atlantis. By the time we get to that movie,
that too.
Yeah, like it can go a lot of different ways. And here's the thing: a lot of the Black Panther lore has been political, so it doesn't mean they may want to go in a completely different direction. That kind of takes it away from that kind of social political aspect that's been a theme throughout. And if it were to go that route, there's a lot that could happen with that as well.
We know with Ryan Coogler, he gonna be political in some form of fashion, and we know this motherfucker has to come out sometime soon, cause that nigga Denzel Washington time is clicking, and he ready to bounce up out of Hollywood. So they gotta produce and release this joint sometime soon.
And I feel like they're gonna turn. Well, I hope they keep him as like Black Panther in the comics. Like give him the contingency plans for all the mutants that he has. Just have him be that like super intellectual genius too. So I feel like that really could tie into the mutant saga. But I thought, never mind. I thought they was gonna get away, like create a whole new universe. But I guess having him be a Black Panther, like a variant or something, and then just come into the MCU when they create a new universe would be cool too.
Yeah, and that's the other part to the point that D just made. We really don't know what is going to happen with the finality of Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that going to bring about, and then how much is that going to play a part? And if Black Panther is the first thing after it, how much? Because the first movie after is always a bridge. The first movie after Endgame was Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man was like the bridge. There's no more Tony Stark. The bridge. What is the fallout of the snap. You know, like it's kind of a cleanup movie.
Mm-hmm.
So how does Black Panther do the cleanup after Secret Wars?
I think he would oddly have a very peculiar position in the world at that point in time. Now you have X-Men in there, now you have mutants, now you have the world stage still knows Wakanda. You have to navigate that. Now you have to deal with Doom on top of that. And then you have Namor as well, and then Denzel Washington, whoever character he's gonna be, whatever villain he may be. Like, you have a whole lot of capabilities to the point where you could have this be like not a filler film, but introduce the seedlings of something more. Introduce the seedlings of Doctor Doom again, still being prevalent, or even Kang, or even somebody else. And they just hired some people.
One more quick question on this note: is the mutant saga also going to tackle the galaxy on a larger level?
That's a great question.
Or is that, because if it is, you also have to remember that there's an intergalactic Wakanda nation.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's an intergalactic. It's actually a really good comic. I highly recommend checking out the Outer Space Wakanda. In fact, it's something that I want to kind of go back into myself, because I really did enjoy when I started reading it. And it's vast. It's like easily 100 issues of that lore out there. Easily. It's got to be over 100 at this point. But that's something that could also come into play, because now you can start tying in like more elements and more storylines around the Shi'ar Empire. Is that what Black Panther does? It says, okay, we're not going to necessarily use this opportunity to dive too much into the mutants, even though bruh, it's really, Black Panther can do a lot. Black Panther could just go straight into the mutant kind of element, whether in several different ways. It can go into the intergalactic element. It can go into a combination of intergalactic and mutants, because refresh my memory, but Xavier got a baby with Xandra.
The Shi'ar Empire?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know.
I think so.
Yeah, he got a kid. He got a girl, a daughter. I didn't know this actually until recently myself, but yeah, he's got a daughter with like the leader of, or one of the leaders, or a leader of the
they touched upon it in X-Men 97 in this first season.
Yes, they did. Yep. That was actually where I kind of found out about it. I was like, huh? Then I kind of started reading a little bit more on it. Yeah, so you could do intergalactic with Black Panther. It's not far-fetched. And at the same time, use that to usher, if like, let's say it's a scrambling, right, of a bunch of different characters. You have mutants on Earth, but you also have mutants in the galaxy, and they got scrambled as a result of the results of Secret Wars. Black Panther does have the ability to touch on the different universes, or the different planets and different species and empires, while also still possibly touching on the aliens, or excuse me, the mutants. And there's also mutants that were on the moon. There's a whole bit about them having a base on the moon. It's a lot. It's a lot that Black Panther could kind of touch into. So it being the first film after, and it's gonna be cleanup duty, it really makes you curious. What exactly is Black Panther, the movie Black Panther's role, gonna be in introducing us to the mutant saga?
Would y'all want him to be just a regular T'Challa, or would y'all not care if he was T'Challa the second?
Nah, just let him be T'Challa. Yeah.
I wouldn't care.
Can we still have T'Challa the second in this universe? But like, he just be a down the line plan when Damson Idris doesn't want to play the role anymore, type thing.
Yeah, but technically niggas ain't gonna be going around in the movie, hey, T'Challa the second. They gonna be like T'Challa, so I feel like it's not gonna be too much of a difference. I feel like people, as long as Damson Idris, if that is the person who's playing Black Panther, it's speculated, it's rumored.
He gotta be.
We hope he gotta be at this point with all the stuff that he's been a part of. Hopefully, one would assume that with the acting job and performance that he will do with this character that most people will just forget that he was T'Challa's son to begin with. That people just think that he's the regular T'Challa, the original.
Yeah, I get that. I see what you mean by that.
So
just don't put if you don't put too much emphasis in it, the fan won't put too much emphasis in it.
Yeah.
Got you. That's fine. For me at least, that's fine. But I do agree with D. I just think we just need T'Challa back.
Mhm.
Like classic regular T'Challa.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, man. Hey. It's shaping up to be something nice. I see you over there too, James Gunn. You over there working in the shadows on that Man of Tomorrow. Let's see what you got. Hopefully, it's not no comedy.
If he can come, if it can come out,
it is a comedy. I think they go. He already got the storyboards.
Oh Lord,
posted a picture of them joints. So I feel like even if they sell or even if they get acquired, yeah, look, you finish this Man of Tomorrow shit, and after that, it's over for you, nigga.
Yo, like I don't know if that's wrong though. Like, bro, I don't think this universe going. Like, there's a good chance this universe does not live to see the day.
Damn, we had already seen. Damn, was the Batgirl movie part of Zack Snyder universe?
Yeah,
I think and they got canceled.
Bro, they took that shit off the show. They like, yo, we ain't even putting this shit out.
Yeah.
So these new niggas, they gonna get James Gunn universe. They like, look, what you did with Superman was cool for kids, but look, we going in a. We finna have a right wing Superman.
Yeah.
We finna have a
bro
Homelander.
Yeah, we finna have Homelander Superman. Like they gonna change a lot. They like, look, all of that campy shit with the dog. Yeah, no, none of that.
No, but grit.
Yeah, they go. I don't think they gonna want that because it's like all he's done is Creature Commandos, Superman.
Peacemaker.
He
also doing that Clayface movie too. Isn't that him or is that Matt Reeves?
I think
that's him.
Matt Reeves. That's James.
That's James.
Somebody else doing it, but they also got Supergirl, which comes out
next year. Yeah, and Man of Tomorrow.
So Supergirl and Man of Tomorrow come out next year, or Man of Tomorrow come out 2027?
2027, I believe, for Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Marvel and DC both doing a hard reset 2027. Man of Tomorrow. Look, something gonna happen. And Marvel like, yeah, we resetting with Secret Wars, and whoever acquires Warner Bros. Is like, yeah, this shit, we don't care. This is not what we want.
What we doing? Yeah, I agree. But I kind of want to see James. I kind of just want to see it. If it's not good, cool. But I want to see it, and I don't think that that's gonna happen.
I feel like these right wing people half the time because the dude that played the Eternal that was in Bollywood was cast.
Yeah.
Booster Gold. So imagine, yes, he was. They said he was the one that was cast as Booster Gold.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that ain't going like that.
I guess you want to take on these different liberties. That's you could recast some brunette, some brown haired dude, recast him as something, but you can't touch no blonde haired, blue eyed boy. They're like, yeah, you didn't touch the fire with that one. It's your time is up. You got Harold and Kumar playing Booster Gold and whatever other character we got. Absolutely not. Not on my watch.
Not my Booster Gold. Y'all got Superman. Fuck Superman if we can't have Booster Gold too.
Yeah, they is none too pleased with Mr. Gunn.
We need this good old American values on the screen.
It just depends. Well, to your point, to that point, it does in a sense really rely on whoever would have the rights to these franchises after this bidding war is over, what their values are. That's going to determine whether James Gunn is something that we see have the ability to finish out everything that he's had planned, or if it's to D's point, it just get axed. And I think just with the way that the world, our country specifically is right now, that will likely be the case. Now, I don't know though if there's partners involved. Maybe the partners give us more of the things that we want that we wouldn't have got if it was just the main company that was behind it. I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I was comfortable with just seeing what was going to happen with this James Gunn universe, and now it's like, I don't know. Is this going to be something where when 2027 comes around, I'm gonna be, well, not just me, but a lot of people may be mad at not being able to see James Gunn's world because the direction that they get under whoever is the new owner is making it way worse than anything that James Gunn possibly could have done. I don't know. I don't want to really be in a situation like that, so I don't know. I'm just not.
What would be
Could
crazy?
you see Matt Reeves? You think they would just get Matt Reeves since he beefing a little bit with him?
That's what I was about to say. It would be crazy if they just said, you know what, James Gunn, F you, we're getting Matt Reeves. He made a almost Billy Batman movie, if it wasn't a Billy Batman movie, with, as someone would say, like T Smooth, Sparkles the Batman or Sparkles the Vampire. If you was able to make that much money, James Gunn, your Superman, he's the Great White Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't even come close to what Batman made. We might as well just get Matt Reeves to do it.
Just let Matt Reeves do it. And it might be a safe bet because critics.
Yeah.
Told y'all with that Superman box office, bro, that in the height of,
You brought up a good point.
We got a bad taste in our mouth from them trash movies that came out. But like we said, beginning of the year, Thunderbolts was way better than what people gave it credit for. But it was just that superhero fatigue. And then when Superman come out, that's supposed to give the whole, that's like, okay, with a Superman movie, this is gonna crack $1 billion. If Avatar is cracking $2 billion, I've never even heard nobody
Lilo and Stitch.
Avatar. Lilo and Stitch cracking $1 billion. How to Train Your Dragon almost hitting $1 billion. And you mean the nigga that started all this superhero shit ain't even at 800 million? Nah, he gotta go, bro.
It might, y'all really might be onto something with this.
Damn.
Whoever purchased it, just take the safe route and go with Matt Reeves. Where it's just kind of like I see if Matt Reeves had to touch Superman as an example, I just see it being a very straightforward, not really testing too many boundaries Superman, which might be exactly what the company can handle.
I don't know, because he kind of tested the boundaries with Batman. It necessarily wasn't, I mean, not tested it, but it's been a while since it was that focused on like detective work in regards to Batman.
But that's safe. That still might be safe. Whereas again, to Dee's point, the difference is with James Gunn, he gonna go get the guy who was in Eternals to play Booster Gold. Yeah. Whereas like a Matt Reeves might just get somebody who almost looked too much like the character to play that character, or just somebody that across the line is somebody that wouldn't cause too much controversy. That I think that's the balance that would happen with Matt Reeves. Is it progressive? No.
Probably
but
not,
is this something where it could still potentially hit $1 billion? Yes.
I think he does it in a way though where he still does have that, what is the word, diversity. Like Penguin, a perfect example of having diversity within the cast and everything like that. The little black dude that was Penguin's sidekick, one of the main figures in the whole entire thing.
It's safe. Like it's a safe level. That's the difference. It's a safe level. And I think that's where I could see Matt Reeves coming in. Like, as an example, Catwoman. Catwoman wasn't Selena in the comic books. It was Catwoman like how we accustomed to seeing Catwoman, Halle Berry-esque Catwoman. Absolute Batman, a little different. It's more like that. But you are to your point. He does take liberties to introduce diversity. But again, what's going to make, I think what would make them pick him if it were to get sold is how safe he is with it. It's allowed, just how much of it is being allowed and in what ways is it being allowed.
I feel you. I can understand that point. We shall see. It looks like it's about to shake up. And you can only imagine how that got James Gunn feeling while he's doing his projects. Batman 2 is in the process of getting worked on.
If you start to see him canceling and quit, then you know they got Matt Reeves.
They're working on the Brave and the Bold, or at least talking about it and trying to figure out ways to be able to introduce him and everything like that.
He will break his contract and go back to Marvel.
At that point, what would he do? If he touched Nova, I was about to say I was gonna shoot myself. I'm not gonna do that. If he touched Nova, I'd be highly pissed.
Yeah. They find something for him. They even probably will let him introduce
Jeff
his
the Shark.
quirkiness. They will find a way to.
James Gunn Jeff the Shark film might actually go crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, here's
goofy shit in these movies though. The stakes.
I hear you, but it ain't. This gonna stay.
But it's like, bro, if he do something for Marvel, let it not be some more space odyssey shit. Like, try to do something else, bro. Because every single movie feel the same with these Guardian shits.
I think Wonder Man is gonna break, and it's gonna break Marvel into a new territory with that kind of more adult and comedic style.
Yeah.
If Wonder Man is good, I think that's gonna be the one that will break it. And then if things don't work out with DC, that's where James Gunn could potentially come back in and play a new role with Marvel. And that's how I think Marvel would sell it if they wanted to have him back, because they feel like it'll leverage them a little bit better. I think that's exactly how they would sell it to him. They would say, look, we don't want you to come back. We don't want you to come back and have to do Guardians again. But we want you to handle this new territory that we have, which doesn't have that many works in it, and which you can develop even further. And then that's where you'll be getting like the Peacemaker-esque show, but for Marvel. What that would be, what that would be, I don't know. But that's what he would take the helm on.
Mm-hmm. Deadpool would be crazy, but Ryan Reynolds technically directs that.
Yeah, he's got that.
All right. Nonetheless, we kind of went on a tangent there at the end, but yes, you see how involved we are with these points, with these topics. So make sure again that you're hitting that like and subscribe button, and hit that noti bell to make sure that you are up to date with all of our lives, all of our potential streams, in which we're playing various games like Ark Raiders, Dead by Day. Is it Dead by Daylight? The new joint that came out, the new zombie giant.
Dying Light,
my bad. Dying Light, The Beast. I already said Ark Raiders, 2K. Sadly.
Wait, do you have that?
Yeah, we have Dying Light.
We just got that. RT actually got it, but
You're welcome.
Thank you. And all of those various games. So make sure y'all tapped in. Make sure you hit that noti bell. Tune in with us again next Sunday, as long as the holiday permits it, and we shall be back with y'all again. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week, and happy holidays. Peace.
These dreams on the road to riches, focus on the ticket, maximize my